PPA. Peter here from PPA, and welcome to this week's show, the Property Investment Guys, the only place to be for fair income facts, flaming hotspots and figures, and to drill down on market news, research, and what's happening in the Australian property market and how you can make money with property. Look, today we're going to talk about the tale of three Aussies. And today you've just got myself, because Tony's on a road trip inspecting clients' houses up in far north Queensland, and also inspecting the opportunities. So he's out there doing the hard yards. So it's just myself here today. But I'm sure I'll give you this information. I'm sure you'll get a lot from it, because it's very important. Because look, it's so important for you as the investor to make sure you're doing something right for your financial future, because this is the actual facts. And I'm just going to run through this with some, I'll run through it as quickly as I can, so I'm not keeping you too long, but at the same time, giving you the right information. So let's get stuck right into it. So what are these three tales of three different types of Aussies? Well, unfortunately, it's around 86% of Australians, according to Australian Bureau of Statistics, are set to retire on a poverty income of less than $16,000 per annum. Why? Because they're relying on their super and their savings. And most people know they can't save themselves to wealth, so they will rely on their super. And the facts are, look, super is just not working for the everyday Australian. Unfortunately, many Australians think they're going to be okay. They think they can rely on the pension. But as we're seeing, the pension is harder to get, and more we're seeing more often that people can't actually get that pension, and there's more and more workers leaving the workforce. So some economists are saying there may not even be a pension in 10 years' time due to the lack of taxpayers in the workforce, due to the large number of baby boomers leaving the workforce. So if that's the case, we can't rely on a pension. And look, don't rely on it anyway. You want to live a decent life, I'm sure, and enjoy those after working for 30, 40, 50 years of your life. You want to make sure you're actually living a really nice lifestyle after you stop work, I'm sure. But here's the facts. So number one, 86% of Australians are said to retire on a poverty income. But the average Australian superannuation is around $310,000 for males, and it's lower for females currently. So if you're stopping work on $310,000, economists are saying you need approximately $60,000 per annum to live on during retirement years. If you stop work at 60 years of age, the life expectancy for Australians are around 83. So if you stop work at 60, your money has to last you 23 years, and you certainly do not want to outlive your money. So what does that mean? That means if you've got $310,000. And if you need $60,000 per annum for 23 years, that's around over $1.3 million. So if you've got $310,000, you've got $1 million shortfall, and that equates to approximately $13,400 per week to live on. Okay, I'm not a financial advisor. I can't give financial advice. I'm an expert in property, but this is just basic maths, and just run through the actual stats. Okay, so then we look at what do almost approximately 70% of Australians are doing, is that they think that property is easy to buy because everyone's a property expert, and they're jumping in and just buying any old property, and they're gambling on their future. Because most people just think if I buy a property, I'll do well. Unfortunately, that is not the truth. You can make money, and this example shows you that you can, and it is better than doing nothing, I'm sure. But importantly, you want to make sure that you are, investing for maximum returns and having a safety net there to make sure all your boxes are ticked, to give you every opportunity to make the money and make sure you're not losing money, and you're maximising your time in the market. Because it's all about time in the market. Because when you buy a property, you've got compounding capital growth, which is growth on growth on growth on growth. And if the market's not going up, it's going down or flat for years, you're going nowhere. I'll show you quickly some stats on that in a moment. But this is a typical example where someone jumps into the market. They often buy apartments because apartments seem affordable, even if it's a house. But this is just an example using an apartment because, again, apartments seem affordable. The accountant says, go buy a property, you're paying too much tax. So people walk out to the nearest sales office in an apartment block that looks like it's a good location, and they get sold on hype, and they buy that property. But unfortunately, it doesn't mean it's the right time in the property cycle, doesn't mean it's the highest returning property, doesn't mean there's thousands of new jobs creating population growth, which puts pressure on housing markets, which pushes up demand, which then in turn pushes up your property prices. All they're doing is buying a property. It may be the completely wrong time in the property cycle, which again, I'll get into in a minute. But in this example, they bought a property for $400,000 in this apartment at the wrong time of the property cycle, which I'll drill down in a moment. So for those 5 years, it didn't do much. The next 5 years, it got some growth, and then it didn't do much again. So over that time, 15-year time frame, that $400,000 property, and I'm being kind and saying it's worth $700,000 now. So when you combine your $310,000 in super, on the average Australian super is, and plus the $300,000 in growth, you've got $610,000 there. To last you that 23 years, and that's not including your capital gains tax, which I'm not going to go into today because it'll be just way too much maths to do on a video. So, but breaking this down, you're now, you've got $610,000. You're still $700,000 short of that 1.3 plus million you need per annum. To live on to give that $60,000 per annum. So that works out to be around $30,400 per annum to live. So you're about halfway there to what you really need to survive. This is not going on holidays, enjoying the lifestyle that you deserve to have after working so many years in your life. This is just this is just scraping the barrel at $30,000 per annum. Okay, so that's typical, because most people jump in and invest because they hear it on TV, or that's a good location to invest, or they see the magazine. But unfortunately, that's generally too late. You've jumped in at the wrong time of the property cycle, and so it already moved a lot, which I'll drill down on that very shortly. So what do a PPA A plus investor do? One, they get themselves educated so they can make astute decisions. They also then look at, make sure they have a plan, because everyone's very different. What's your time frame? How much money do you want to live on per annum? And how long, if you want to start work at 50 and you live to 83, well, that's 33 years you need to survive, not 23, 33. And different, so everyone has different time frames where they like to stop work and how much money that you may like to survive on. So again, understanding what that plan is for you, what your super and savings are, and other investments you might have, again, and then what can property do to help you, extend those funds to help you have that, that retirement and stop work with financial security that you really want to have. So this is how a PPA investor would do it. They jump in and buy at the right time property cycle. I'll cover that off in a second. And buy, again, an affordable property, a house, land, where there's good land content, they're in the market, they're getting strong rent, good depreciation, good tax benefits today, and it doesn't have any cost to hold because there's strong rent return, lower interest rates, so the cost is, it's after your tax benefit, you're actually cash flow positive, so you can invest with a very affordable property. People are investing on 60K plus income, as long as you have some form of deposit, whether it's coming from your equity in your home for deposit and cost, or through some cash savings, whatever it may be. And then they're looking to duplicate, again, as soon as possible, because sooner in the market, that property's working for you. So they're then looking to duplicate and looking for a high cash flow property. And many clients of ours are doing this, where they'll get the initial property is more affordable. Next one, they jump in and get a dual occupancy, where there's one property on one block of land, but there's two units within that one property. So you're basically getting two incomes on the one block of land. So it becomes very high cash flow positive property. Again, you've got to be very careful where you buy these, but the right place, the right time, it certainly can be a really good investment for high cash flow and capital growth. And then they look to duplicate again, and then this time looking at a duplex. So it's different than a dual occupancy. Again, there's two properties on the same block, except these are separate strata titled. So you can then get each property evaluated on completion as separate properties. Okay, so you can be uplifted much quicker doing that way. So they're trying to achieve that. That's 3 properties in those 5 years, just duplicating from one property into the next. Then they've got that 10-year period for all those properties to grow in value. Now, again, I was very conservative. This property at 400,000, this one at 550, this one at 600. And with that growth over that 15-year time period, plus your cash flow, plus your tax benefits working for you, that worked out to be, plus your super, worked out to be 1.56 million over 23 years. You actually surplus of $240,000, which works out to be $68,000 per annum in your pocket. And again, I'm being conservative as possible, but in reality, just by doing this, you're over that point. Plus, you've got a cash flow coming in, plus your tax benefits. And what you're also doing is you're trying to pay off your own home so much sooner as well. So you've got all these incomes. So you get one income, two incomes, and two incomes. You get 5 incomes driving into your offset attached to your own home, and that's driving in the mortgage of your own home. So by the time you get to this point, you've got your house paid off, you've got 3 growing assets, then you've got some choices in life, how you want to exit that property portfolio that you have. Again, for me, I want to leave at least 1 property each for my 2 children. But again, it's about what is right for you and what that's going to give you. Okay, so yeah, importantly, that's how you need to be doing it to make sure you can actually get to this point and have the funds that you need. And again, these figures are conservative. This should be much higher than that, but I don't want to talk about hype. We're very real. So just talking about the basic facts. The important thing is how you do it, and you must get it right. So how do you do it? Well, you simply use our smart, simple, fast track formula, which will definitely help you achieve that. Give you the best opportunity to achieve that. Again, if you got to stick to those things, we don't have a crystal ball, but we cover you with the safety net, with research and data and on the ground research to make sure you can make astute decisions, and lots of independent data as well, obviously, so you can actually, that you can do your own due diligence, and that makes the most sense to invest and why. So it all starts with timing. Now we talk about timing all the time, and research. Where is the infrastructure going? Where is there billions of dollars of new infrastructure, because that drives thousands of jobs, and thousands of jobs drive population growth. And population growth puts a lot of pressure on the housing market, which can push up prices. So we're looking to get our clients are investing at the very start of property cycle, around very early into the cycle, so they get that full sort of 5-year growth period. They get solid growth all the way through that time frame. We're getting growth on growth on growth, duplicating through the power of compound capital growth. And then they're looking to buy another property, and then the next property, but in a different city. That might be, we might say that's Perth, we might say that's Darwin. Again, I'm just being hypothetical. And then they buy their next property, and it could be in Melbourne. All hypotheticals, but again, they're buying their first, second, and third property, but all at the start of that property cycle. So they're getting a full growth cycle working for them, which give you that power of compound capital growth across your portfolio. And importantly, you diversify across across cities, because you want your portfolio to always be going up, because at some stage, every city has different cycles at different times, and one cycle might be flattening out or slightly correcting, while others are still going up. So that's the power of diversification. And always look for places with at least 5 economic pillars, which means multiple industries, to assure that it's not surviving on a one-horse town, like a mining town, for example, which is all reliant on one industry. Okay, so importantly, stay in capital cities or major regional centres where there's multiple types of industries for employment. Okay, so that gets you that power of that compound capital growth, the diversification, the longest time in the growth cycle. So you get solid growth for that 5 years. It might flatten out for 3 to 5 years, and then again another solid cycle. So over that 15-year time frame, you're getting those 2-3 growth cycles, which can allow you to get these figures working for you. Not just where most people, as number 2 here, they're buying towards the top of the cycle, and in that 5-year period, they're going nowhere. So the first 5 years of life, they could have gone backwards rather than gone forwards at all, and definitely wasted 5 years, which limits the time for growth of that property overall, and thus why you get a lesser outcome. So it's important, you get that right. Then once you've identified the best city, it's so crucial you drill down on the micro and where is the best location to invest. So once Tay and myself identify the best cities in the country, we're on the ground doing our due diligence with our matrix system, which scores each part of each location within a city, like they're drilling down the best suburbs to the best developments, the best estates, the best streets, down to the best blocks for investment. And the matrix system has been working for years and years for us, proven for over 10 years that we've been doing this. And look, we see about 300 locations a year, and only about 30 stack up to that score high enough on our weighting system that we would recommend to our clients, and we certainly invest there ourselves because we buy where our clients buy. So importantly, working out that micro and macro, because too many people go, oh yeah, it's a good place to invest in Sydney right now, and they jump in and buy in Sydney anywhere. It makes a massive difference to buying in one location to the next. I'm sure you know yourself, whatever city you're living in, different locations within that city are growing at a faster rate than others. So it's very important to do that on the ground research. And as I said, Tony and myself spent days and days and days, as weeks overall, just back and forwards, researching our place, talking to the right people, talking to town planning, talking to property managers, talking to the people on the ground, developers, builders, just trying to understand what is happening in our markets, and business owners, all those types of people, to see, where is the best locations and what's actually happening, so get a good feel for that city. So is it ready to go now? Is it at the start of the cycle? So unfortunately, most people in our space look for the easy sale. So they're just they're generally marketing properties halfway out of the property cycle because it looks very good. The figures look good now. Back here when we start, the figures prior to when we're in the figures are low. There's high vacancy rates, unemployment's high, but what we look for, it's high here, but as we're getting closer and closer to this key time to invest, all these figures are working in the right direction for us now. Vacancy rates are becoming tighter, job market's becoming tighter, everything's working for us. House on the market is much shorter time frame. All these things we're looking for to make sure it is the right time to invest. But obviously importantly, rents are going up and prices are starting to move as well. So it's very important to get that right time. So yeah, and then drilling down on the micro and macro is crucial to get that number one best location. The next thing is looking to buy new. New, it gives you multiple growth drivers compared to, generally when you're buying an established property, the only thing really driving that property in an established market is the timing cycle, which can be very good if you buy the right time. That's only one growth driver, maybe one or two. They might be doing an upgrade of a shopping centre nearby, or some schools, or doing some small developments. But again, it's often just one or two growth drivers. When we're buying new, we're looking for multiple growth drivers. We're looking for a location which is predominantly full of owner occupiers, not investors. It could be a small infill, could be a knockdown rebuild, it could be a master plan community where they're building a satellite city. Depends on what the location is, and depending on our clients' portfolio already, or their budgets, all types of things we look at. Everyone's very different. Everyone is an individual when it comes to investing. So then we look at, okay, new's the best option. So what's the drivers? Yeah, importantly, timing is crucial. You must get timing right for sure. Then, okay, ECB, it's surrounding yourself with larger homes. You might have paid 400K for that property, but then the ones around you, these bigger homes, worth 700K. That's called established capital benchmark, where the properties around you are worth more money, and we do valuations in that location. Prices get pushed up by these larger homes, and it's like the old saying, buying the worst house on the best street, where you're getting uplift through ECB, established capital benchmark. And then what the developers do, look, they're trying to make money in an upward market. So when the next stage comes on, you may have paid 200K here for that block of land. Next stage comes on, that same block of land could be worth 220K. So you're getting developer uplift through that $20,000 of the land going up in price. Again, you haven't done much to do that besides buy at the right time in the property cycle. And then what happens, there might be a train line going in, a hospital, some schools, it could be the shopping centres, playing fields, leisure centres, all these sorts of things start going in. And if you bought a block of land before they were there, obviously you must have infrastructure there already. You must have transport, you must have schools and shops, otherwise no one wants to rent it. Okay, very important, it has to be there. But there's hundreds of millions, sometimes billions of dollars of new infrastructure coming. That intrinsic value is going to pump up the value of your block of land. So that's going to give you, that's going to give you infrastructure uplift through all that billions or hundreds of millions of dollars worth of infrastructure, driving up the value of that block of land. Very important. And what do all these things do? Obviously, all that new infrastructure creates jobs, jobs create population growth drives demand, and demand gives you another growth driver. Okay, so you're getting multiple growth drivers. How good is that? Everything's working for you. You're actually making money just by buying the right property in the right location and buying new. And then again, you buy at the right price. Again, importantly through PPA, you buy, you don't get it sold. You buy directly from the builder. The builder works for us, and we've negotiated the right prices. And again, I'll touch on that, why that's so important next. Okay, so again, this is very important to get why you get multiple growth drivers compared to one or two, which can help drive up the value of your property, on top of buying at the right time with the right research. And then importantly, a PPA has our unique formula. It's a building formula which we've put together, coming from a building trade background. We understand what actually works for clients. We talk to property managers, we talk to tenants and see what they actually want. And it's not just for renting, but also for resale. So we come up with a unique formula of what our floor plans are, but what our facades look like, what inclusions do we do, all these little things that we put in there. We don't want to overcapitalize. We want to have them just right. So we know we're going to attract the tenant. If they're looking for a house to rent in that location, they're going to pick our house over anybody else's in that street or in that location because of just how it looks. What's inside there, and this also helps with your depreciation and maximise your tax benefits, but importantly attracts the highest rental demand. Again, we're trying to create a safety net so you are not, you don't have empty houses. You have a house that's always rented in a high growth location, high demand location, so you're getting the best returns, and that's what that unique formula does. And look, I'm not aware of anybody in our market that actually does that because of our building trade background. We've had years of experience to put that together. So that makes a massive difference to get you that solid growth. Third step is you make money when you buy. You gotta make money now, okay, it's important. And timing is crucial to that. Again, when you buy at the right time in the property cycle, we go to locations, they've struggled for a number of years. That's why they're at the bottom of the cycle. So we can go to land developers or land homeowners and get deals on houses, deals on land, and get rebates or get the house at the right price for knockdown rebuilds. And what that creates is money in your pocket straight away because you're buying at the right price and getting rebates off the land. And then we select builders, we go a lot of lengths to select the best builders in the country in those locations. And because they've been struggling also for 3 or 4 years in a quiet period, being the bottom of the property cycle, we get them to sharpen their pencil and get the best prices to make sure you make money when you buy by buying directly and getting that right price. So this is very important, and obviously timing also is because you're buying at the right time of the cycle for full growth. Stamp duty, when you buy a new property, you set on the house, set on the land first, not the house. So rather than paying stamp duty on, say, $400,000, you might only pay it on $180,000 for the land, hypothetically, okay? So a lower stamp duty cost can save you around $10,000. Again, buying directly, not being sold, buying directly from the builder, directly from the developer. You get all the rebates, you get all the right prices, all our negotiations for the build, and they're always full turnkey. Very importantly, full turnkey and a fixed price contract. Because too often when you buy new properties, people end up buying at a price and it costs them way much more because the variations in the cost, or it's not actually a full turnkey. Full turnkey is very loosely used where they say it's full turnkey, but you're still missing air conditioners, floor coverings, window furnishings, landscaping, mailboxes, driveways, footpaths, fencing, all these sort of things that can cost you thousands of dollars. All PPA properties are 100% full turnkey and a fixed price contract. So if they hit roots or rocks and they have to cost another $5,000-$10,000 to do the foundations, then our clients do not pay. It's just the way we've negotiated our pricing to start with. It's all about leveraging off numbers. You got multiple people going through to that one builder in that one location, so we got huge leverage to make sure they look after us. And importantly, looking after us means looking after you, our valued clients. So that's very important. And then obviously tax, when you're buying new, you get the highest depreciation, so you get the maximum tax benefits, and that can be thousands of dollars through a tax withholding variation form back in your pay every year, to help you, fund that property so there's no holding costs, so it doesn't affect your lifestyle today. It should actually improve your lifestyle, especially when you start going into these higher cash flow properties. Again, that's the next step is the cash flow. That cash flow can help you improve your life, and as I touched on before, you drive all your tax and your rental incomes back into your offset of your home, which helps you pay your home off so much sooner. So it makes so much sense. I mean, every Australian should be doing this, and they should taught this stuff at school. Okay, duplex for instant equity. I didn't touch on this before, but when you buy a duplex, you buy it at the right location. This duplex could be $600,000 hypothetically. But on completion, you get them revalued, and they could be worth $350,000 a side. because they're separate titled. So all of a sudden, again, I'm using that for easy maths, it may not be this much, could be more, could be less, but so you pay 600, it was valued at 350 for site on completion, so that's 700k, you made 100k instant equity in uplift. Okay, that varies in every location and every type of construction, but that's how a lot of people are making money as well, on top of obviously the compound capital growth. And yeah, new growth drivers, again, looking for, what are all these growth drivers which you get in a new property over just buying established property. So you're making money when you buy. The next step is that buy and hold strategy. And once you've got that property, you want to hold that, keep hold of it over this time frame. Set and forget. Let the power of compound capital growth work for you. Fine example here: if you bought a $400,000 property, Australia's property market's grown at 8.5%. I've used 8% here for this easy maths. 8%, 400k becomes 432k. So again, $32,000 a year for not doing much. In the second year, if it grew again, compounding at 8%, it becomes 460. Compounding at 8% becomes 504. Compounding at 8% becomes 544. Over that 5-year period. Okay, so again, that's compound capital growth. Einstein said it should be the 8th wonder of the world because it certainly is a powerful tool to help you, get yourself. Now, if that's just one property, if you've got multiple properties working for you, obviously it becomes even more exciting. You can certainly lay in bed at night time and do the maths and think, wow, this is how fast I'm growing. So importantly, that timing is so crucial. Last one, 5, we've got duplicate. Okay, we touched on before. It's not about one property is great. One property, if you do just one alone, can do so much for you. Look, and that might be all that you want, is just get one property to help you to add to your super and savings, to help you, reach that financial security with more money and more choices in life than you would with just your super and your savings. But for most people, having 2 or 3 properties is what you really do need to break down that shortfall and give you the funds you need, as for this example here today. Look, and we have many clients that are looking for 10 properties and more, because they're more capitalists. They want to get more money sooner and want to retire with some really serious funds and stop work much sooner. But again, everyone's very different. But this is just one example today. So again, the important thing is, once you get the buy and hold strategy working for you on one property, the key is to buy again, duplicate, transfer some funds from this property into this property for deposit and costs, and look at your next property. Again, but importantly, diversifying. To a different location around the country. So you've got different cities working for you. You want your portfolio to always be going up, because at some stage, one part of your property portfolio would no doubt be correcting or flattening out for a while. So you want multiple properties in there, so your portfolio is always heading in an upward direction. Because look, some people we see have all their eggs in one basket. They often buy 2 or 3 properties in the city or town they live in because they think it's comfortable, think it's a safe investment. But in reality, it's less safe. It's actually higher risk. And they haven't got that safety net of having diversified growth. Look, I'm no financial advisor, but when I go see my financial advisor and talk about shares, they always say diversify, and properties are no different for any investor as well. Again, it's your investment. You can do whatever you like, but this is good advice, I think, to make sure you can get the best returns for your personal outcome. So again, number 5, duplicate. Just go back and start again. Make sure you get the research right. Make sure you buy on the right time of the property cycle. Make sure you drill down the micro and macro. Get the best location within the location. Then buy a new property for the highest multiple growth drivers, tax benefits, little or no maintenance. Buy the right price, and then you're making money when you buy. And then buy and hold that property over the time frame that you have, whether it's 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 25 years, whatever it is for you, to help you chase down your shortfall so you can live a very happy and healthy lifetime in your retirement years. So look, I hope you found it very helpful. Again, we'd love to help you more, so do yourself a favor and reach out and have a fast track strategy session so we can put a solution together for you based on your circumstances, because everybody's very different. Tony and myself would love to help you. You can certainly click on that in your email where you received our newsletter with our Property Investment Guide show. There should be a button there you can press to book a strategy session, which is a good time for you. Anyway, I'd love to help you further. I hope you found this helpful. Otherwise, all the best, and I'll come back to talk to you next week. And next week we might drill down some questions. We had a lot of Q&A questions, a lot of clients asking us things. If you'd like to ask a question, feel free to reach out to myself at peter@propertyproaus.com.au, or just reply to that email that you got today and just ask any question you might have at all. And next week we'll do a Q&A. All right, thanks very much. Until next time, all the best. Have a nice life. Thank you.